pilots, DrainMan here, and today I have got a very exciting video. In today's video we are going to build and fly this brand new Era FPV frame by Its FPV. This frame we recently did a review on, and from top to bottom it was impressive. Quality parts, quality design, the engineering, the specs, the measurements, everything just came together so well, and you can tell that this is a high quality, possibly indestructible drone frame, and I can't wait to build it and fly it. Let's go. Alright pilots, so I recently dropped a review video on the frame itself. And it was awesome. We got to dive into the parts. We got to take a close look at the hand injection molded nylon camera cage. Look at this bad baby. That is something right there that we've seen before, but not like this. This thing is strong and it is tough, and I can't wait to fly it and crash it. In today's video, I just want to walk you through a build. I want to take it for a spin. If we crash, we crash. Who cares? It's built for it. It's designed for it. So in that frame review video, there were two questions I saw a lot. And one of them was the weight. How much does it weigh? What does it weigh? Well, let's throw it on the scale. And we are about 158 grams in weight for this drone frame. I'm going to say that's about typical when we're talking about a drone frame. I recently built the Mark V. Bow. Let's go ahead and see. 164. So this is actually lighter. Something to keep in mind. I also saw some curiosity on the GoPro mount. This is a 3D printed GoPro mount for your GoPro Hero 9, 10, 11, 12, like that. And people are saying how robust and beautiful it looks. And it's got the open snap to get in nice and easy. But when we look at the connection point, it's nothing more than this little knuckle right here that is supposed to support the weight of this entire GoPro. And then we're going to stick it on the top of this drone frame with one screw. We've got a couple people doubting that, but let me assure you that they assured me that this baby is tough and strong and you won't have any problems. So we're going to build it, we're going to put it, we're going to run it, and we're going to find out if that's true or not. Alright, so to dive into our build, I've got a brand new DJI O3 air unit right here. I will rip the packaging open with you. Look at that. Boom. Brand spanking new, out of the box. See that? Brand new. But I hate to tell you, I'm not going to run it. You know why? Because I love my regular OG DJI setup. I love the goggles, I love the DJI radio. It's just so simple and it's just so easy. But you can run anything that you want. Me, I want to make this a daily flyer. I got a feeling it's going to last and it's going to pass a few of the crash tests. So I want to put in an old Vista I've got laying around, and I want to pair that up with a beautiful G4 and 45 amp Fettec ESC. Bow. So that's our stack, that's our video. You may be curious what I'm doing for motors. Well, I'm going to run the Its FPV by T-Motor motors. These are beautiful olive green motors. They're going to look nice with my gray, at least I think so. And they are a 2306.5 1750 kV motor, and I can't wait to try them out and see how they do. Alright, so let's go ahead and dive into the build. The first thing we need to do is open this up because it's been closed since I built it for you guys. Let's go ahead and get this first part done. We're going to need this camera cage, so I'm going to go ahead and pop it off. And just like that, your camera cage is off. And the reason why this is important is because you want to mount your camera first. So I'm going to take my camera and I'm going to slide it up in there. Let's see how she fits. I was actually worried it wasn't going to fit. Oh wow, look at that. Fits like a glove. So you position it just like that. So to mount your camera cage, and depending, if your camera has 2 screws, you'll use these inserts right here. If your camera has 1 screw, you'll use these inserts. Very simple, very user-friendly. There's a bag that you get with the frame that says cam/VTX hardware. I'm sure it's got what we need for the camera. So I'm gonna go like that. And then I'm gonna drive it right through the center. Look at that. And I'm gonna throw it right on here and try to find the hole. Okay. Look at that. Ooh. Now, don't snug it up too much. Leave it nice and loose. You want to just catch it. Wow, I'm going to tell you right now, it's kind of strong with just one knot even tied. All right, let's set up the next one. Now that we align the first screw, the second screw should align on its own. Oh, what do you know? It did. So now I'm going to tilt this camera where I want it. I'm thinking it's already got a natural 20 degrees. I would like maybe 30, so I can just pinch it up just a bit, and then we'll go ahead and snug these up a little more. Tell me that's not genius, borderline genius. So now it's as simple as taking our frame back and remounting that back on there, and then we'll deal with mounting our VTX. If it breaks, we'll deal with it later. Okay. Ugh. All right, so that is not going any further. I'm gonna now pop that off. Whew. Look at that, huh? That fits like a glove. So this is how you swap out your antenna. We're gonna do it really quick because most pilots already know how to do this. All right, old one is off. I'm gonna throw it up here and save it. Okay, now let's put our bracket back on, and ideally you just want to slide that back under, and then you're going to put your screw back in. So we're ready to mount the VTX. Right here in the bag that says cam/VTX, there's all the mounting hardware you could ask for. Look, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then you've got the nuts to pin it down. Usually I just do 2, so let's see how strong we get with 2, and then we'll go from there. We're gonna set that there, and let's go through, and we're gonna go caddy corner, so that way we're supporting on both ends. You just simply grab a pair of pliers and a driver. And let me show you from the back side. You're going to put in your driver, bam, and from the front hold that nut, and that's it. Watch it, watch this, and you just spin a little. That's it. Don't over tighten it. You're not trying to kill it. You just don't want it going nowhere on you. Wow, look at that. That is not going anywhere. We are strong and robust. And there's no need for 4, there's really not. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna just clip on my 3D print, bam. And you want that to be flush right here. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna move on to mounting our stack. So we've got our brand new Fettec 45 amp ESC, bam. And it comes with a cap and our connector. Ooh. Let's take those, and all we're going to do is we're going to take our plug, we're going to plug that in, and then look where your XT60 is coming out, and we're going to put that out the side. I'm going to actually go out that way. Ooh, make sure you're not pinching your camera cable. Wow, look at that. Oh, God, that's good. And then we'll go ahead and grab our frame, and we're going to pop off the motor wire protector, and we're going to set it aside. And what we're going to do is we're going to take a motor, we're going to set it on here, and you're just going to kind of hold it while flipping it over. Once you have it flipped over, we're going to take our skid or slide, whichever you want to call it. We're going to set that there, and then we're going to take a screw and slide the screw through. Then at that point, we're going to cock it sideways, grab our driver, and just start the motor. Do not tighten it up. Take the next one, same thing. Start it. Then grab your fourth screw, drop it in. But now you can tighten all the way. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And if you take a close look, you can see that the screws are biting all the way through the bottom of the stator here at the foot, and they are grabbing all of that meat. But they are not protruding past it as to hit our motor windings. So we're looking good. Now we're going to follow suit by making sure those wires are nice and straight. Do you see that? Look at that. Now I'm going to take my motor wire protector cover, and these are not 3D printed. They are full injection mold. I'm going to set it on top right there. Look at the coverage. Every bit of that wire is protected. Now you can use electrical tape, you can use whatever you want. I use my Maxwell tape. And I'm going to cut me 2 pieces just like that. And I'm going to use my fingernail and just press that in. And now from this side, you want to also, because you know it's contoured with like a box shape, so you got to make sure you fill that in if you want to. Then pull really super tight while pushing down and plant it. Now I can tell you right now, this is not going anywhere. So now I'm going to pull that tight, send it around. Again, fingernail crease, and pull tight. Again and again. Wow. Can you even see that? Look at that. Tell me that's not flawless. Bam. And then I'm going to do like a shuffle downward as to tuck them. Can you see that? So I know that's good. Now I'm going to lift up, grab my cutters, and snip all those wires. So now we need to go ahead and strip those wires. And you can do that with a pair of regular snips, but I go fancy schmancy Milwaukee strippers. And I'm going to grab that first little bit, pull it off. Grab our iron, and we're going to tin these. So there's 1, 2, and 3. And now let's tin our pads. Can you see that? We're going to go 1, 2, 3. But while I'm here, why wouldn't I tin them all? Exactly, I would. And connected. Number 2. Connected. And the final wire. Number 3. Connected. And as you can see, that's beautiful. So I'm going to pull that extra wire over because I'd rather it be inside here looped a little bit than out here vulnerable. We want to keep everything, you know, inside of here snug and safe and nestled, all tight and cozy. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to hit the other 3 and not bore you to death and make you watch. And once I'm done, I'll meet you back here. Yes, this baby is coming along. Take a look. Look at that. Tell me that is not absolutely gorgeous. The motors are beautiful. Everything, the wiring, the tucking, the protectors with the wraps of Maxwell tape, it's all just coming together so nicely. I'm actually getting super excited. I got a feeling it's going to fly amazing. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and get our XT60 figured out. I've got a lead right here, ready to roll. So we're going to start by tinning the wires. They come pre-tinned from the factory, but they use a different solder than we do. So I've got to actually tin these wires, and I'm going to throw them over just like that and get fresh solder and fresh flux put up in here. So we want to heat it up nice and good, because we want it to flow. So as you can see, I'm making sure it's melted all the way around, and then I'm going to hit the other one. So I'm going to go ahead and tin these now. Let's set our iron here, and we're going to get a good amount of solder going. You got to be careful because that's a big hole. So what it's probably doing is falling through to the bottom. So I'm trying to stack on top. Look at that, that's a healthy bubble. I want that angle, and I'm gonna push. Get it nice and hot. There you go, look at that, it's melting all the way through. Boom. And we can even add more solder on top if we want, but we've got to put a capacitor. So I'll deal with that then. So that one's going to go there. Oh, that might be hard to reach. So we need to come in from this side. And here we go. Let it get hot. Let it flow all the way through. A wiggle helps now and then. There you go. That is a good solid joint. That's some thick 12 gauge. That's a lot of thickness to put on such a small ESC. Okay, so there you are. You're connected and looking good. And you can see if I pull tight this way, I've got a nice tight turn. See that? It's not coming way out here into my props. It's staying tight up against the frame. And you can also use this 3D print that they give you. This will slide through the leads, and then you can attach it here, and that's going to keep your leads, you know, up close and away from the props as well. I chose not to use it, but that's your choice. You do what you do. Now the next thing we need to do is we need to get a capacitor on here. This is a 45 amp ESC, but it is 6S, and anytime you're running 6S, it is recommended to put a capacitor. I've got a 50 volt 470 microfarad. That is what comes with this Fettec ESC. And what I did is, if you take a look, I went ahead and trimmed them, and then I soldered up with a little bit of heat shrink, and I made extensions. Now, is this good to do? No. No, you want to put this as close and as tight as you possibly can to your actual connection right here where everything connects. But look at the size of that thing. How am I supposed to put that there and make it look good? And I'm just going to throw this baby right in there, and I'm going to solder it up like that, and you'll never even know it's in there. I'm not getting the most out of it that I could get, but I am getting the benefits that I need from having a capacitor. Out. See that little bubble? In and out. Okay, that's simple. And that bubble is going to allow me to have a nice healthy connection, and same for the positive. And I didn't have to go there. I could have gone here or here or here or here or here or here or here. Those are all set up for capacitors. And I've got my alcohol feeder. If you've not seen this before, let me show you. Just a little pumper, and when I pump, I'm gonna clean this up just a little bit. Because why? Well, because I don't want to mess. I want it to look good. Okay, so with those two things done, I personally always recommend taking your multimeter, and you should have one, every pilot should have one, put it on continuity, make sure you got beep, and just double check that nothing went wrong. Oh, that initial beep scared me. Alright, okay, so with my flight controller here and ready to go, I'm going to take my ESC and I'm going to simply just plug it in, because yes, any FETTech to FETTech is completely compatible. Even if you're doing F7 to 35 amp or 45 amp or G4, doesn't matter. And then I'm going to take my jumper for my Vista, and I've got a plug on it. I'm going to give it a little twist, and I'm going to plug that in as well. Now I've got to connect my receiver, and this is a Vista, so I have a built-in receiver. Boom and boom. Anybody who's going to run a Crossfire ELRS receiver at all, with this frame, you get this awesome Immortal T mount right here. Super, super awesome. And it actually attaches right here to the cage, and it just looks awesome. And then you've got your Immortal T antenna like this right here, and it literally mounts right here, and it's just, again, a beautiful design, beautifully engineered by Its FPV. But in this scenario, I don't need it. So I need signal right here. That's my S bus. And then I need a ground. We're gonna go right there, and then we need a ground. Which you really don't have to have a ground, but I believe that your signal is more stable if you have a ground. Holy macaroni and cheese, pilots. We are, we're literally, we're done. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put this top plate on, and I'm going to lay one right there that's going to lock like that. Okay. And I'm going to take the other, I'm going to lay that right there. Okay. Alright, let's put on our action camera mount. So watch how easy that just goes through there. And then we're going to drive a screw through. Okay, very, very important. This is something that was discussed, and when you're building yours, you need to pay attention. On this side, there is no titanium insert to receive this screw that I'm entering now, okay? It is just going into nylon only, which is why a lot of pilots question it, but I have been assured by Ken and his partner that this is going to be just fine. So there's importance here. You cannot over tighten this, because if you do, you're just going to strip the nylon. So you have to give it the right amount of torque. And as you can see, I'm doing this now. See that? I'm going to feel for it. We're coming in. Everything feels good. Feels good. Go a half a turn. And that is it. It didn't even get tight. I just locked it up to be tight inside of that nylon. So don't go and kill that nylon, because you're not going to get very far. Now look at that. Whew. All right. I don't know. I honestly am a little skeptical myself, but they said it's good, so I'm going to take their word for it. I mean, the rest of this frame is flawless, so I can't see us having any issues. I'm feeling good about it. I can't wait to set this up and take this to the sky, just in case you were curious, because you may be, what does this look like built with the orange? No need to worry. I've already built that one. Wow. Look at that. So if you are like, I like the gray, looks good, but if I crash out in the field, what am I gonna do? No worries, because you've got the orange. If you crash in the bushes with this, you can go find it. Or maybe you just like that design better. So I ran gray and orange, olive green and gray. Love it, absolutely love it. Okay, we did get hit with, what's the weight, what's the weight? So full built motors, double stack ESC flight controller, a VTX camera, and even the mount, 2 battery straps of Kevlar. We're going to go over the full on up weight. Here we go. Can you see that? Boom. 440 grams. That's actually very, very impressive in my book. I don't know about you, but to me, that is great. Now, this one has a single stack, no cam mount, still has the battery straps. 422. Last but not least, we have to power it up and see if it explodes. So I've got this little test lead, and I do not boot up by battery anymore. You can take a battery and you can take a smoke stopper and you can plug it in, you get a little light, and you power it and you go from there. But me personally, why do a live battery when I don't have to? Because in a different video that I will link for you down in the video description, I built my own power supply. This is a variable bench power supply, and it's got short protection. You ready? Oh, nothing bad's gonna happen because it's protected. So if for any reason I have built this poorly, my bench supply will stop the flow of current, protecting all of my electronics. I'm running 24 volts, so I'm mimicking a 6S that has been in the sky for about a minute. Let's go ahead and power up. Now, what if I accidentally connect negative to pot? Doesn't matter. I've got reverse polarity protection, so we're safe there. Here we go. You ready for that? You ready for it? You ready for it? The sound of that just made me happy. You can see the ESC lit. You can see the flight controller flashing. It's like, hey, set me up. I want to fly. Well, guess what? Me too. All right, pods. I hope that you guys had as much fun as I did. I hope that you'll go get your own Error FPV drone frame and build it yourself. I hope that you guys will stick around for the flight footage, and I will see you on the next one.
Pretty baby, you gon' be the death of me. So evil and you know you are, but you always taking care of me. You're always by my side. If you leave, you always make it back. So pretty, I can count on you, but you always taking care of me. You know that I love you, love you, love you. Love you, love you, love you. You know that I want you, want you, want you. You know I want you, want you, want you. Love you, love you, love you. Love you, love you, love you. You know that I want you, want you, want you. I want you, want you, want you. Pretty paper, yeah. I'm infatuated, I'm obsessed. You a flex, I'ma make you mine. You serving power and you sexy, give you all my time. You the only thing I see, I give you all of me. Just to get you, I've been wanting you for so long. And to be honest, you the only one that make me smile. Like, oh my wow, you so bad and you make me laugh. You so supportive, I remember how it was before you. No, I can't lie, I was barely getting by. Honestly, don't think I had emotion. Nah, I ain't have emotion. Didn't recognize myself, like who is that? On his own, I think he tried. So far from home, I'm in 2D, I'm out of reach. I'm on my own, but I always think about you. You so pretty, baby. You gon' be the death of me. So evil and you know you are, but you always taking care of me. You're always by my side. If you leave, you always make it back. So pretty, I can count on you, but you always taking care of me. You know I want you, want you, want you. Love you, love you, love you. Love you, love you, love you. You know that I want you, want you, want you. I want you, want you, want you.